Hi, my name is Amanda Lukasevich, and today we're going to be talking about implementing a functional analysis procedure. Well, first, we're going to start with an introduction to functional analysis. A functional analysis is meant to confirm the function of the behavior, typically described within a functional behavioral assessment or an FBA. Ensuring the function of a behavior, we are better equipped to implement interventions to either increase or decrease the behavior. There are 5 conditions within an FA: tangible, attention, escape, play control, and alone. First, we're going to talk about tangible. So this would be access to tangible item or activity, and to implement the tangible aspect of an FA during the designated session, every instance of behavior will result in access to tangible item or activity. For example, if you were implementing the tangible part of an FA, every time the behavior occurred, say that the child was reinforced by an edible, you would give the child an edible for every instance of behavior, and this would go on for the entirety of the session. For attention, it is defined as attention is providing the client with either positive, for example, what happened, or negative attention, for example, we don't hit friends. When implementing the attention part of an FA, every time the behavior occurs, attention is unconditionally provided to the client. So, for example, if the behavior was physical aggression, every time that a client engaged in physical aggression, we would provide attention such as, what happened, or we don't hit our friends, or let's have nice hands. Moving on to escape. Escape is pausing or stopping any demand, trial, intervention, etc. in place. When implementing the escape part of the FA, a break or escape from whatever is occurring at the time of the behavior is given. This would mean if we were tracking the behavior of physical aggression again, every time that we place a demand and physical aggression happens, we would stop the demand and say, oh, never mind. If we're playing with something that the client doesn't particularly find reinforcing, every time they would engage in physical aggression, we'd allow them to take a break or escape from the demand in place. Moving on to play control. With play control, the client has free range to access all reinforcers known to the client without the presence of demands. For implementing this part of the FA, you would give the client open access to all previously established reinforcers and all available. While this is taking place, there will be no demands placed on the client. This is typically used as baseline data. So for this, say there's a play area with all of the client's reinforcers that are known available. We would give the client free access to play with any and all items or use any and all items, and we wouldn't run any trials, ask them any questions, or place the demand for them to demand for items. And like this said before, it would be typically used as baseline data. Finally, we're going to talk about alone. Alone would be leaving the client alone in an area or room while no consequences to the behavior are given. For implementing the alone portion of an FA, the client would be left alone in a room with the client still being observable, and there would be no reaction or consequence when the behavior occurred. This could, for example, look like leaving the client in a conference room, sitting at a table with no authority figure or RBT in place or sight, but the client still being observable. And whenever the behavior occurs, there's no consequence or reaction. So this would obviously be adjusted if the behaviors were self-injurious in nature, but it would just be adjusted accordingly so that we could still run it. And that was the final section of the FA. If there's any questions or anything, please don't hesitate to ask. Thank you so much for listening.